Bienvenue, hello, greetings, hola. Here we are, back doing an IJDM thing, and another one of those things that just is one of those things that you're scratching your head going, what is this channel about? Well, if you ever figure it out, there is a prize for that, and I'll make it special. Originally it was a gimmick with floppy disk, but hey, let's get right to the point, because nobody wants to sit here and watch this for the next 10 minutes. And it's Florida right now, and it is fall, and we got all these crazy storm things going on, but it's cool because it's good to miss us. I've been looking at radar, but let's get right to it. I did a thing, and I'm sorry I don't have it here in the photo like last time, made it all pretty, but this is just a quick update. I had promised it. It's a part 2 on the patch that I used for my pool, and that would be the Flex Seal Paste, or Flex Paste as they call it in some situations. And I just want to follow up and show you where I'm at. And just a quick thing before I bring you underwater with me is that it's held up pretty dang well. As far as when I got, and just explain something, and I'll show it in a graphic which will appear here, maybe. That's what I used, and then this is what I used. I don't know if that's going to work, but here we go. And both of them have the inherent things, and I'm going to cover this because once I go into water, and as I learned from the last video, the microphone gets water in it and it doesn't clear up very well, and air conditioners fire on and things happen. So here's the story: is I used to use the paste that you saw, that it was a 2 mix, and you mix it together and you put it up, and it was just hard to use with a spatula, and you get overthrown, it wouldn't stick. It's underwater patch for if you have an in-ground pool, and if you're like me, just can't afford to drain the dang thing because you got to pay for all this. I mean, look at all this water. And to be honest with you, we didn't want a pool. It just was here, and we got to upkeep it because we're in one of those areas that's a hot spot in Florida that, like, yeah, okay, but it's one of those things that we just kind of have to deal with. So I'm trying to keep up with this until eventually maybe we can repair it or do something with it. So that's where I decided to try the Flex Paste instead, and I'm actually surprised. Actually, if I'm going to compare one to the other, I'm going to say one thing on this, and I promised to do this underwater quicker, but is the sealant worked fine and the Flex Paste worked fine. But here's the thing: they both equally pretty much do the same thing, other than having to pre-mix it like the original stuff I used. The Flex Paste, you don't have to. You just take it, spoon it out, spackle it on like you're doing a wall. It's kind of hard underwater because once you see when you're trying to do it, how hard it is. But anyhow, I'm just going to show you some of the patches that, and starting from bottom to top, but I have one really bad area of the pool. So this is the one I did with the patch, and granted, yeah, I'm still getting some areas where it's got the rust coming through because there's a bracket in behind, and I don't think there's a way to stop that. If anybody knows, let me know if there's some better stuff out there that I can use. But and FlexSpace actually sent me a comment saying, hey, good show, and I really do believe in some of their products. I don't think, and I'm going to be honest here, on some of the stuff, it does work, but it's in situations and certain ways you got to use it. So, and this was kind of like a big experiment for me, so I was giving something a try. It was a $20 value thing, and I'm not looking for them to become a sponsor. They're not a sponsor. They did not send it to me for free, and it was just one of those things I wanted to give it a try. So let's just go underwater right now and take a look, and you can be your own judge. And I mean, my spackling on it wasn't the greatest in the world, but you know, you be your own judge. So let's just go do this. And yeah, this camera is coming underwater with me, and here we go. I'm gonna shake this camera off because I think I'm probably muffled right now. Trying to get some of the stuff out of the camera. Well, I don't know how that's gonna work out on post, but if you can still hear me and I'm not too muffled, what's happened is the rust obviously came through, but the patch is still holding, which is the most important thing. The rust is coming through, but I don't believe there's anything you can actually do unless there's some kind of, I just believe the chemicals involved would be something they could never offer on the open consumer market. But I'm going to keep this under 6 minutes, and I'm hitting 5:17, 5:18, 5:19, 5:20, and I just wasted 3 seconds doing that. But as you can see, and I kind of showed a couple of the different patches I did in this corner, and it's the only problem with my area of my pool. It's just because my pool is like really designed like wonky. It is totally just like weird. Like, why would you put this weird like quasi angle on here? But as far as I can say, I can recommend it. It will be a temporary fix. I don't think it's meant to be a permanent fix. If it was used in a dry situation, it may work fine, just like plaster or anything else in a dry situation, or some kind of sealant. But in a wet situation, it's very hard. But I give them props for making something that was a lot easier to handle, gives you a lot more product for your money, that they did what they did. And in all honesty, I'm actually surprised, because a lot of those, as you see on TV, things aren't the way they're supposed to be, and they don't react the way they're supposed to be. But this is one thing that has, and I have tried their Flux tape, which is not a bad product as well, but it's just, and I did try to actually in the same application, but I think the surface was too porous for it to actually work, which is why I decided to try it. It's $20. Try the paste, why not? Because the other stuff cost me like $30 to get it now. And not to mention, like, if you get it on your hands, it's like you don't get it off for like months, it seems like. But that is it for now on this IJDM. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you hated it, well, hit the dislike button. Either way, hey, it is what it is. And we'll get back to more retro tech coming up soon. We got some good stuff coming up in the future. As we hit 7 minutes, I'll see you next time.